You know what I really can't stand? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm starting off hostile. I can't stand all these weird people that are online. It's mostly girls, but it's also guys that are talking about like they'll have a mental illness and then they'll like try to like say it's the best. It'll be like the biggest one I see is like bipolar depression, and it's always people sharing videos like, "Oh, I have what it's like to have bipolar." It's like it's like having the lottery of mental illnesses. You have all of them. And it's like shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Like obviously it's a real thing. I know. Everybody knows that. But most of these people I see that are like posting this stuff, trying to say they have it, I'm like, you don't fucking have it. Like, you're worse than the Ticks and Roses chick. You guys remember her? Yeah. Well, guess what? She was faking it. I was right. For those of you that don't know, um, this is just an. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here about fake YouTubers, but well, I think she was TikTok. I think she started on TikTok, but yeah, her name is Ticks and Roses. I'm sure you can look at it. People have made a bunch of videos, and I think I've talked about it on here before. But it was like this chick that faked Tourette's, and it was so hilarious because, like, I just found her in a random cringe compilation that somebody had compiled because I'm a sick person and I like watching that sometimes. Although it's getting harder and harder to watch the older I get. But I was watching it, and this girl, I think she's making a soup or something. She's like, ha-hoo, ha-hoo. She just has this random tick. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she's like, oh, putting spice into that. She'll be putting spice into like the soup, and I'm like, lick the bowl, touch the hot pan. It's like, what? I'm like, is this a mixture of Tourette's and intrusive thoughts, like self harm? It was so random. And like to me, like it's just you could tell, use your instincts. Like Peppy said to Fox, use your instincts. That's what you got to do when it comes to this fucking like these idiots online that are like faking mental illnesses and those people. To me, I have to say like obviously she got found out and everybody kind of memed on her and you know she got ridiculed and all that. But I think there should actually be real consequences to people like faking that shit because it's pretty gross, honestly. Like if I actually had Tourette's and I had to suffer from that, or like Parkinson's or something, and I just learned that somebody was actually just faking that disease when I'm suffering from it, I think I'd be pretty fucking angry about that. So I don't know. It's again, it is what it is. It's the nature of the internet. People just like to get clout any way they can, and faking a disease is a really easy way to do it. And to get back to the bipolar depression, this is a long intro, by the way. Uh, yeah, it's just I just hate it because the types of girls that I know on my Facebook, I know they don't have it, but they're posting those videos to like seem edgy. It's like it's like the odds of you having bipolar depression and you're like everything else, you're lesbian, queer, bi, tri guy, like you have every disease under the sun. It's like the episode of Simpsons with Mr. Burns, like you're actually the sickest man alive. We call it Three Stooges syndrome. So what you're saying is, I'm indestructible. Oh God, no. In fact, the slightest breeze could indestructible. Welcome everybody back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 68. It should be 69. I'm sorry, guys. That was supposed to be the good one. I know, I know. Ah, it's like Riley, friend of the show. It's like what he said. Uh, I'm just trying to push back that episode. I'm just trying to build the hype for episode 69. But no, last week I was pretty damn sick. It wasn't cool. I would have sounded like I would have sounded more like shit than I do now. But it really has been a frustrating, like, I guess spring you could say, because it's kind of spring now. The snow is melting, thank God. But I've just been kind of like in and out. Everybody's been in and out of sicknesses, and yeah, it's been kind of rough. That I wasn't really paying attention to numbers or metrics or anything. I mean, I don't really look at that stuff anyway. It's just kind of when it's time to record the podcast, I usually, look at last week's episode and anything I uploaded at that time, and I'm like, oh, I'll look at the views, and I'm like, yeah, cool. And last week's episode, I don't know if it ruffled feathers or whatnot. There's no real comments on it, but it ended up getting like over 200 views now, and I mean that's pretty good for me. Well, that was 2 weeks ago now, but yeah, that's actually pretty good for me. 205 views on the podcast. But I guess that the Drag Queen story hour is a pretty inflammatory topic, to be honest. But yeah, I've been just, yeah, been sick and just been really busy with work. I am again recording on Thursday. I might have to. Well, it won't be might have to. I will be recording. Obviously, I might switch the podcast day to Friday, like the upload date. Going forward, we'll see, because when I love disc golf, as you guys know, and the league night is starting up pretty soon here. Uh, so Wednesdays is our league night. So yeah, I have to drive to attend it. So I would not have time to get off work, record the podcast, and then you know get to disc golf. So I might have to just for the summer push the podcast back a day, which I'm sure is fine because it's already always late anyway. So I'll either record it Thursday and upload it Thursday, or I'll record it Thursday, and if I don't have time, I'll upload it Friday. But much like I'm doing right now, I'm just recording it and then uploading it the same day, because I've been so busy. Not even with fun shit with disc golf. I've been just busy working. It's been learning new skills, and I'm switching roles right now, so yeah, it's been pretty hectic, but all in all, whatever. I'm just glad I'm not sick anymore, honestly. That was such a goddamn nuisance. And also I had a quadriceps, like tendon it's I'm just gonna say tendinosis or tendinitis, because it was some sort of inflammation in my lower quad. So I've been going to physio for that, and she gave me like a home workout sheet. So I'm working my way through all that, and so that keeps me extra busy too. And it's just, yeah, it would just be really nice to be fully healthy, not have any problems going on with my body. But other than that, everything else has been pretty good, from the being diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. I've been off sugar. Like, I've had the odd piece of bread. You can't avoid sugar completely. It's not really feasible, especially not in North America. But I've been incorporating a lot more veggies, and then a lot more carb-free options, which were already my favorite foods anyway, like chicken, beef, eggs, cottage fromage, which is cottage cheese, and yeah, just regular old cheese by the block. Yeah, it's good shit. But yeah, so I'm, you know, trying to get healthier, trying to lose some weight. It's gonna be good in the long run. I hope. But also I want to try to. I got to do more things on the channel too. I haven't really done anything besides the podcast for quite a while, but I'm thinking about doing a couple more streams. I can't believe it's been 2 months since I streamed on the channel. That's out of control. I got to get on that. I would like to stream at least once a week. It'd be nice just to have it somewhat regular, and then the gaming videos and all that. Again, but it's the reason I did the channel the way I did it is because I didn't want to be held down by anything. I didn't want to, I didn't want that expectation, you know. The podcast is pretty much it. People, unless I get horribly sick, people can expect a podcast once a week, and that's the way she goes. But other than that, I'm not holding myself to any high expectations. I'm just doing what comes natural and doing what I am passionate about at the time and what I think is fun. So that's good. It's good. It's a good way to do it. But the one of the biggest things I want to talk about. No, I haven't seen the Mario movie. I'm sorry. I do. I will probably go see it. I will. It's highly rated, and I really do want to see it. I've just been, like I said, I've been so busy, and there's actually this year has been crazy for video games and for movies and everything. Like, obviously, we're just coming out of COVID, like all the crazy COVID shit, like Prairie North and all that kind of stuff. All those, like all the hospital type things that are in Canada. They're lifting all like their health bans and stuff. Like you don't have to wear a mask in a hospital anymore. And I think that's most of Canada. And it's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? So, everybody's getting out of the insanity. So all this stuff is getting released, and you know, I just can't. I can't afford to keep up with all the recent stuff. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but that's just reality. And like even there's like Resident Evil 4, the remake. I would like to play that at some point, but I still that's another fucking $80 game. Whereas we just had Hogwarts Legacy, Sons of the Forest, which Sons of the Forest was cheaper, but still, there's just a bunch of new games coming out that it's just you really gotta, especially when you're a parent and you're trying to be a responsible adult, you gotta really, curb your spending. It's crazy when I think back to when I was like 21 years old, 22 years old, not a care in the fucking world, no kids, no nothing. And, we're just basically drinking all fucking every weekend and gaming out and doing whatnot. You spend $200 at the bar, and then after that, you know, the next day you go buy fucking 5 Xbox games at Best Buy, and way you go. Just money was no object. But that just goes to show you though too that how fucked the system is right now, because you can't do that anymore. Like back then, I was making substantially less money too, but your money went a lot further. So I don't know that it really does. It does bug me when I think about that. It bugs me a lot thinking about how when I was bringing home, you know, when I was like 22 or something, bringing home like a whatever, like bringing home like $1,000 paycheck. I don't know. We'll say something like that, and that $1,000 paycheck or whatever it was, 900,000, that would pay for the mortgage on my trailer, my vehicle payment, uh, my all this games and partying and dates and all that stuff. Like it's crazy, and now it's like I have a quite a bit bigger salary, and you can barely scrape by on a good fucking month. It really goes to show you how crazy. And right now I'm not even spending. Like I'm actually like what I would consider actually budgeting like an adult, and being very frugal too with my money. So, if I was being frugal back as a stupid young 20-year-old, if I had been frugal there, how much money would I have? Be out of control. Be crazy. But that's the nature of the beast. You're kind of young and dumb, and you don't really know much. And then, but like with not, we should all be good right now. But unfortunately, yeah, the way the economy is, it's just like the inflation has gotten so out of control that, yeah, our money's just not worth anything. So I don't know. And I don't know what the solution is. Again, everybody says, kick that fucking asshole Trudeau out, including me. And I do believe we need to do that because he's a fucking commie bastard. I don't think he's good for the country. But having said that, it doesn't matter. Like, it does matter that we kick him out. But also, it doesn't matter because I feel like if he gets kicked out, like, as soon as he leaves, is our money just going to go back to being worth a bunch of money? No, I really don't think so. I think it's I think it's kind of fucked for forever, unless something crazy happens. But which is also what's happening in the states, which is crazy. That's a kind of a weird segue, but it's something that kind of happens already up in Canada. It's not as intense as this, but there's that whole internet censor or the what the hell is that censorship bill? Hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up because I can't remember. Internet censorship bill. Uh, America. Fuck yeah. Where the fuck is it? Let me look it up, guys. Fuck, what is it called? Uh, I can't remember. But it's that new. Basically, they're adding a. They're trying to pass a bill, and they're calling it the anti TikTok bill, but it has nothing. If you read the actual bill, which I haven't, I will say, I'm just getting this as secondhand information, just so you know. But they're saying that it has nothing to do with TikTok, and it's actually just about control of the internet and control of information. And it's like that is really dangerous. Like they really don't want that. In If that ends up going through with, you know, if it ends up at a point where the government can control exactly what you look at on the internet, because we do have that. Like we have that in Canada. It's not as crazy as this bill is proposing, but it's still pretty crazy up here. Luckily, the Conservative Party of Canada wants to end internet censorship. Um, I can't remember. I think that was Bill C11 or C16. C11. Let me look it up. C11. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, yeah. I think it was C11 about the Consumer Privacy Act and stuff. Um, yeah, they wanted to make amends to it. I can't remember. I'm getting off track here, but they had this whole thing. They have this whole thing where they want to basically pass this bill, and a bunch of people are promoting it stupidly, like not realizing what it actually means. And they didn't, obviously, because they didn't read it because it's too long. Nobody wants to read a 500-page document. All right, nobody's got time for that. But basically, they're saying it's going to stop TikTok and ban TikTok. And so everybody's like, yeah, I want to do that because it's Chinese spyware, which I kind of agree. It is that, they get all of that data, China does. But having said that, if you look into this actual bill, it's not just about TikTok. It is about everything. They want to censor everything and get rid of everything, and basically make it so that um it's illegal to say anything against the government. Hold on, let me use uh in America. Fuck, I'm really mad at myself that I can't remember what that act is called. that they're trying to pass. But they were talking about how it would make using a VPN illegal. So like if you were like whatever you want to ban TikTok, I'll just use a VPN to get on it from China and stuff like that. And people use VPNs to get different Netflix shows and all that kind of stuff. That's the virtual private network for those uh not in the not in the know-how. But it would be this bill would essentially render VPNs illegal in in yeah, in America. So that's some scary shit. I really hopefully hopefully our brothers to the south, good luck to you guys. Hopefully that doesn't pass because that would really suck. I mean, and that's coming from Canada, where we basically have a fucking communist dictator running us, and he wants to kind of control everything. So I don't know. It's a rough one, guys. It's a rough one. But the final thing I want to talk about today, because I'm very, very exhausted, was no, again, no, I did not go to Super Mario, but I did go to another movie, which was very awesome, which was John Wick 4. And yeah, John Wick 4, good God. If you guys are a fan of the series, go watch John Wick 4. You will you will love it. It is an awesome movie. Like out of all the original ones, like the first three that came out, obviously the first one is a classic. It really is. The second one is awesome though. The second one was my favorite one. The third one was good, but it was kind of forgettable to me. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It just was. But it's a good movie. But they're all good movies. But the number two, I just really love number two with Santino D'Antonio. It was super fun. Such a great movie. But this number four, this might be my new favorite. Like number four, they just upped the ante on nonstop action. It was. Let me just Google it here. Uh, John. Yeah, fuck's sake. It's actually that long. Okay. Yeah, John. So John Wick 4 is, yeah, almost 3 hours long. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes. Like it's a long movie, but it did not seem that long. Like to me, it was like it just flew by because it was just such a great movie. It was constantly stimulating you with action, and it had varied environments. Like they went to Berlin, they went to France, or yeah, Berlin, or yes, it was Berlin. Then they went to these aren't in order, but they went to Japan, they went to France. Like there were so many varied environments, and they all oh god, like the cinematography was just top notch. Everything looked so good. The action scenes were shot beautifully. Nothing looked like really cheesy or out of place. Besides the fact that, the standard action movie, John Wick bullshit of him getting beat up, but, you know, never getting hurt, even though he's doing some crazy shit. And in this one, he does even more crazy shit. Like at one point, he like jumps out of a window onto a car, like just jumps and then falls and hits a parked car that hits the ground. Like sweet Jesus. And they really upped the ante for the bulletproof. Because anybody that's a fan of the series knows that. I can't remember. Was it the third one? I think it might have been the third one or the second one where he got the bullet. John gets the bulletproof suit anyway, and that's the whole crux of That's the whole crux of their suits, is that they're all these hitmen have these bulletproof suits now. So every time there's a gunfight, you'll see all the guys that are in suits. They'll all be like trying to hide behind their suit, like they're fucking Batman with their cape, putting their cape up, and it's kind of funny, but it still made sense. Like it didn't take me out of it. It was really cool, and a lot of the enemies, you know, because in the other movies, there's a lot of just regular dudes. So John's just capping them, and there is stuff like that in this movie too. But a lot of the enemies, especially at the beginning, are, you know, they're other hitmen, or they're, you know, or they're like from the high table. They're all, you know, they're all high elite hitmen, like like John. So they've all got their bulletproof suits on, and they're all pretty crazy. And there's also these weird soldier guys in the Japan scene that look like they have like, it looks like they have samurai helmets on, like the old school ones where the samurai would wear a mask on the front and it looked creepy, but these guys look like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. So it was really cool though. That whole the whole Japanese arc was probably my favorite, because they had a bunch of Japanese weaponry and they had a couple sumo guys that were just fucking people up. It was a good time. And oh, obviously, again, I didn't really say it, but obviously there's spoiler alert. um I'm gonna get into some spoiler territory because it's an awesome movie. I want to talk about it. But uh Donnie Yen is in the movie, and he's amazing. He plays another hitman that John is familiar with. His name's Kane, and Kane gets, um, I guess he had some sort of an, he had some sort of deal with the Marquis. The Marquis is the bad guy, played by Bill Skarsgård, and what was his name? Vincent, I think. Okay, I just looked it up. Yeah, yeah, he Vincent de Gramont. Yeah, he was French as hell. But yeah, it was funny because there's one scene. This is random, but there's one scene where he really looked like uh, there's one scene where he really looked like Pennywise, because he played Pennywise, and he kind of has that thing where his eyes go, you know, two different ways. So I watched. There's just the one part where he's like looking at the one lady, and his eye starts to travel. I'm like, oh fuck, he's turning into Pennywise. But yeah, he was a great villain. But anyways, yeah, back to Donnie Yen. He was working. He had a debt to pay to this marquis, so he had to get hired to kill John. And so there's a, there's a lot of funny scenes of him killing people, because his they don't really say how it happened, but his shtick is that he's blind. So he's a blind hitman, if you can believe it. And again, they don't really say how he lost his vision. There's one line where he says, "Well, I gave up my eyes," or something like that. So I think it has something to do with the marquee or the high table, like some sort of initiation or something, or he had to give something up. I don't know. They don't exactly say it. At least I didn't catch it. But either way, so his shtick is that he's this blind hitman, but he's super fucking badass. And it was it was really awesome to watch him in fight scenes, and he was just doing a bunch of crazy moves, and all while being convincingly blind. Like, it's like, yes, he is blind, and it is ridiculous because, you know, uh, realistically, a blind guy would not be able to be a hitman at all, not even fucking close. But still, it was fun. He was a fun character. I really liked him along a lot, and also in the Japanese arc, there's also Hiroyuki Sanada. and he plays this guy Koji, and I, I won't spoil anything about his character for him, but that was the guy that played he's been in a lot of movies. Like he was in Rush Hour, I think, and he was recently in Bullet Train, and obviously The Last Samurai was a very famous movie because Tom Cruise is Japanese. But yeah, there's Bullet Train, and then before that, I think he was Scorpion in Mortal Kombat in the remake. So, but he played a really badass character, and I really liked his fight scenes as well. It was just everybody was really good in this movie. You guys just stop this podcast to go watch it, please. Just go do it. Also, randomly, Clancy Brown was also in it. I don't remember if he was in. I don't remember if he was in number three. Again, I don't remember a lot about John Wick 3. But Clancy Brown played like the guy from the high table that would decide kind of. I'm not going to talk about it because I want people to watch that part. That's too much of a spoiler, but uh, it's awesome. And of course, this is a spoiler that I'll give away. A lot of people saw it on. It got spoiled in clips and stuff already, and people have been talking about it a lot. But spoiler alert: skip ahead like a minute or two, or a minute. Yeah, skip ahead a minute if you don't want to hear this potential big spoiler. But yeah, Lance Reddick's character Sharon gets shot and killed in the movie, unfortunately. But I think obviously they planned that beforehand. But he did die. He passed away in real life, unfortunately. Uh, but it was sad. It was sad to see, even though I knew he could be in another movie, regardless, because he died. It still made me sad because his character was such a. It's. I think it just shows how powerful of an actor that Reddick was the fact that his character wasn't even a main character, but in the slightest. He like he probably only has 10 minutes of screen time in all the movies. You know, maybe 15. I don't. You know, he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he's very memorable and very powerful. Like it's a very powerful character. So that just shows how awesome he was, and yeah, it was a shame, and it kind of hit a little harder because, like I said, he did pass away in real life, so it was kind of hard to see him, fake death on the big screen. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Lance Reddick. You're super awesome, dude. Like really cool, and you will definitely be missed. But yeah, other than that, there's not a lot I really want to say besides just go see it. It's really fun. It's literally just it's so good. So much action. There's just like I said, Japan. There's this beautiful fight scene by the Arc de Triomphe in France. It's Jesus, like I cannot believe how well shot it was. It was a beautiful movie. And there's a whole like night, of course, because John Wick, there has to be an obligatory nightclub scene. So there's like a nightclub scene where basically John is hunting down this bad guy that he's been. We'll just say he has a side quest to kill this guy, and he's been hunting him down. And there's this dad's club, and people are just people are dancing everywhere, and meanwhile John's throwing axes at people and trying to hunt this guy down, and all these random people are just raving behind them, and it was a really nice scene, like with the waterfalls and oh god, loved it so much. But yeah, I don't know. That's really all I'm gonna say about John Wick 4. Please, just if you do yourself a favor, go check it out. It's oh god, it is fun from start to finish. And yeah, check it out. I, on the other hand, need to retire because I have to upload the podcast and then go do 100 different things and then do physiotherapy. So I will thank you guys so much for watching. I hope in my incoherent, tired ramblings today, I hope you guys found it at least a little bit entertaining. It's been a rough day. Like literally, it's I'm gonna kick myself later for not remembering what that censorship bill was in America that's trying to get passed. Because I literally was thinking about it all day, but of course, when it comes time to record the pod, I'm just like brain dead. But that is the world we live in, kids. It's called working 9 to 5 and being tired forever like a zombie. Anyways, enough about me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Links to the podcast social media are down in the description below, and I will see you next week. Bye.